What's going on, everyone? So I want to talk about the Florida Gators taking on the number 9 team in the country, the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss coming in at 8-2 on the season. 2 games left, and Florida is standing in their way of the playoffs. Lane Kiffin, the old Lane train, who a lot of Florida Gator fans were talking about, hey, Lane Kiffin could be the next Florida Gators head coach next year. Well, that's pretty much out the window. That ain't going to happen. But the Florida Gators, listen, they're 5-5. They need one more game to become bowl eligible. And in the next 2 games, they play Ole Miss. It's going to be a tough one. This Saturday matchup is going to be tough. And then they play Florida State down the road. I think we all know that even though it's a rivalry game, you can't count out Florida State. They are just so bad right now, 1-9 on the year. So I think Florida State has a tough matchup this weekend too. So we'll see if they can get a win. So listen, the matchup predictor has Ole Miss 78% chance to win. And I think if you looked at it about week 1, week 2, this was probably 95% for Ole Miss. But Florida has played better. And then DJ Lagway, I mean, probably one of the best, if not the best, deep ball thrower, not just as a freshman, just all over at any quarterback in the country. DJ Lagway has the best arm. I mean, he throws such a beautiful ball, especially over 20 yards. I mean, dude is absolutely insane and his ball placement, his accuracy. I mean, everything that you would want a quarterback to stretch out a defense, which, pause. But listen, so the Florida Gators are going to come. Listen, this is going to be, even though it's an 11 o'clock game Central Time, it's a noon game, whatever you want to call it. Listen, Florida, man, it's sold out, okay? So the Florida fan base is going to be still insane. They may not be drunk. I don't know. There's still day drinking in Gainesville, but listen, they may not be like super loud like it would be like an afternoon or night game, but the game is already sold out. I mean, you knew it would anyways, especially Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin coming into town. So, but listen, there's a lot riding for Ole Miss. So the pressure is on Ole Miss. There's no pressure for the Florida Gators right now. Offense, defense, there's nothing. Just go out here and play, okay, and have fun. And I'm not going to say the Florida Gators are going to come with a great game plan throughout the 3-year, 10-year of Billy Napier. I'm not going to say that. But the Florida Gator play, especially the defense, has played particularly better over the past, I would say, about month. You know, the Texas game, that was just a wash. I mean, holy cow, that was a horrible game. But, they step it up against LSU. And LSU still had a good offense, okay? But if the defense can play like they did against LSU, listen, Florida will have a chance in this game. Now, Ole Miss is a different animal. They got a better offense and a better defense than LSU. Way better defense than LSU. So, what can Florida attack Ole Miss? It's going to be tough, okay? But you're going to have to run the ball. I think, or what a lot of people say, run the ball. So I think you're going to have to get Jaden Ball, and I think you're going to have to run it a lot. Listen, I know Florida, LSU had the ball for 40 minutes. I don't think you're going to be able to do that in this game. I don't think you don't want that Ole Miss offense to have the ball for 40 minutes. They're, like I said, they're a different animal. They got better athletes. They're just a better, well-built team than LSU. And especially with Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart's a way better quarterback than Nussmeier. So what is Florida going to have to do to get the upset? They're going to have to run the ball. And listen, I know they're going to try to take their shots downfield. I don't know if you're going to have the time. Listen, Ole Miss has a great pass rush. They have a great defense and a great pass rush. You may have to take what the defense gives you. And DJ Lagway is a guy, listen, he's still a freshman, he's still learning. He wants to take the deep ball. There's a lot of times where there's some checkdowns or there's some guys, maybe 8 to 10 yards, maybe a little shorter. He can just get the little gimmies. You're going to have to take that in this game. I believe Lagway is going to have to be more of a field general in this game, a little game manager. Pick the Ole Miss defense apart in this game to give yourself a shot at winning the ball game. And I think the biggest thing that comes down to it is Jaden Ball and that Florida Gator offensive line. I think if you can establish, and really any game, I'm not going to say just this game, but any game, can you control the line of scrimmage? And if the Florida Gator offensive line can do that, they have a really good shot at upsetting the number 9 team in the country. But with all that being said, listen, Ole Miss is a 12-point favorite, I believe right now, 12 and a half. It was 11, I thought. Or it was a 10-point favorite for Ole Miss. So now it's went up 12 and a half. But I don't think it gets that. Listen, I know a lot of people how critical I am of the Florida Gators and Billy Napier and everything. I don't think Florida loses by 12, in my opinion. Now the health, even though I know DJ Lagway played last week, the health of Lagway does scare me a little bit. It's like he in this game, if I knew he was 100% healthy, I'd probably give Florida even a better shot because that hamstring injury, it lingers. You can kind of tell he couldn't move. He's kind of maybe thinking about it a little bit, especially that hamstring. He doesn't want to take off and pop it again. So, if he was 100% healthy and no issues with the hamstring, you're going to see DJ Lagway's legs more involved. And I think that's one of his, not a lot of people have seen that yet, but his legs are a big, really big attribute to him. And I think with him, maybe limited a little bit with that, I think that's going to have, that Ole Miss pass rush is going to take advantage of that. So I think Ole Miss still gets the victory. I think it'll be a high scoring game. And I think Ole Miss gets the victory 31 to Florida 23. I think 31-23 is a good score. That's still high scoring to me. The Florida Gator defense has been suspect a lot of times, especially third down defense, and they really couldn't get off the field against LSU on third down. But, this Ole Miss offense is explosive. We all know that with Lane Kiffin. But the one thing over the past couple of seasons, the Ole Miss defense has not really been great. But this year, it's a lot different. And I know Florida Gators don't want, I'm not even going to say his name, who Ole Miss has as one of their pass rushers. But, they have played pretty well this year. But I'm going to say 31-23, Ole Miss takes the victory. I think they cover. I just can't see it being over 12, especially in the Swamp. If this was an away game, if this was at Ole Miss, okay, I see that. But with the crowd, I think the crowd plays such a huge role in these games. I get it's not at night, but man, it's still different. So, we'll see. I mean, I'm excited to watch it. You got this game going on at the same time as the Ohio State-Indiana game. So I'm going to be going back and forth through those games. But, I'm going to say Ole Miss gets the victory by 8. But I would not be shocked if Florida wins. I really wouldn't, because you're a team that you have really not. I mean, I say you have nothing to play for, but, to become bowl eligible. But to knock off another team, because you just did it last week in LSU, to knock off another team out of the playoffs and an SEC team, man, it just gives you a little more confidence. It just makes it, it just means more. So, it'd be great. And then Florida could move 6-5 on the season and 4-4 in conference. And then listen, a winning record, 11 games in, is something I wouldn't think. At the beginning of the year, I said 5-7, 6-6 at best for the Florida Gators. Right now, it's looking right at it, but the 6-6, I would have taken that, to be honest with you, especially with the schedule. The schedule as the year went on, you could tell it wasn't as rough, I would say, because LSU really wasn't that kind of team. Kentucky really didn't kind of, even though Kentucky gave fits over the past couple years for the Florida Gators, but hey, listen, if Florida can at least get bowl eligible this year, it will be a huge thing, because what was the Vegas odds was 4.5, the win total. So I'm excited for this game. I wish I could go live. I haven't been able to go live and do play-by-play commentary and kind of have fun with it all year. I've been announcing Little League games. Listen, they pay me, and they pay me pretty good. I don't make a whole lot on YouTube, so I got paid throughout the year for that. So, and then whenever I wasn't working, it was always something coming up, and like tomorrow, I won't be able to do it, but I'll be able to make a recap. But I wish I could go live, but it's just something that hasn't been able to. I'm going to try to do the Florida State game, though. Absolutely. If I could do that one, if I had to do one all year, that's going to be the one, especially this year. But hey, guys, as always, I appreciate y'all watching this channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great one.